Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lanolin, and we are back with episode 104 of my modded Minecraft Let's Play series. Hooray! In this episode, we're going to continue on with our applied energistics automation. Nice. Or I guess actually we're going to start with some applied energistics automation, because we actually really haven't automated anything yet, huh? Other than a few crafting recipes, which I've actually gone ahead and expanded a bit. I went ahead and got the... This is another really good thing to go ahead and have crafted or auto crafting early are these, the cables and stuff. So we have our quartz fiber cables, glass cables, covered cables, smart cables, and dense cables. So now we don't have to worry about making them manually. And the ME storage components, the 1K and the 4K, I went ahead and added as well, along with a few other things. Now I should mention that there are more efficient ways to create these towers of crafting, these crafting towers of molecular assemblers and interfaces. Like you could put interfaces right here in the corners and it would have access to these two molecular assemblers and all that. But I didn't want to, I wanted to do it this way for aesthetic purposes. I wanted to just make a tower and then I could do some fancy chisel block stuffs once we get it up to max height. So if you're curious why I don't do it the other way, the more efficient ways, that's why. It's purely for aesthetic reasons. If you want to go ahead and add interfaces and do it that way, in the corners and stuff, that's fine. You know, a molecular assembler on top of this guy, and then interfaces, and then so on all the way up. But, you know, this is the way I want to do it, so that's how I'm going to do it. So anyway, what are we doing today? Well, like I mentioned, I wanted to automate some stuff. So, between the previous episode and this one, I went ahead and made a nice little hallway going down here that I started to clear out, but then stopped because I wanted to do it with you guys. And I made like a little what would you call this, like a maintenance room, because all of our wires and stuff, all of our applied energistics cables are going to be running out of this way, down this hallway, allowing us to hook up a bunch of cool stuff. And I made the hallway to access the cool stuff down here. Yeah. It's a little messy at the moment, but it'll make more sense once we get started. What else have I done? Oh yeah, I also went ahead and kind of cleaned up this wall a bit. It's been sitting here all wonky for a long time. I covered this up, but then I ran out of slabs, so I stopped and started recording. I think I've done a couple other things, but I don't think it was anything significant. I've mostly just been kind of touching stuff up here and there. Oh yeah, the other thing I did was I closed this up, as I'm sure you guys noticed. I just didn't really mention it. But yeah, I closed this up so I wasn't getting rained on, because I kept getting rained on while I was messing around with stuff, and it was kind of like, ugh. So anyway, let's get started. You also notice that I went ahead and marked this guy up to 3. Last episode he was on 2. And that is, of course, because I added an additional interface. And yeah, added a bunch of stuff that I can auto-craft. You know, crafting table and all that fun stuff. I also added the molecular assemblers. I don't think I'm going to need to create them too often, but I noticed that whenever I create them, I'm going to need to make a set of 4. Because the interface on top, all by itself, it can't actually craft anything. It needs to be touching at least one molecular assembler for the interface to be able to craft any of the patterns inside. An example of that is when I first put down this interface, it had the patterns for these guys, the formation cores and the annihilation cores, and it didn't have any molecular assemblers touching it. So when I went to craft more molecular assemblers using my auto crafting system, it couldn't do it because it didn't have any way to craft these guys, because it had no molecular assemblers to craft it with. So once I had one, I went ahead and slapped it down next to this interface, and everything worked perfect. So just keep that in mind if you go ahead and create it like this, this method, and you run into an issue, that is why. So anyway, what is the first thing we're going to automate? Well, I personally think the best thing to automate as far as, the best first thing to automate is probably the charging of the Certus quartz crystals. These charged Certus quartz crystals are used quite a bit, and I only have 16 left. I had like 100 of them that I went ahead and made and had acquired from the Ender Quarry, but we only have 16 left. And while I have 520 Certus quartz crystals, I really don't want to have to walk all the way down here to my charger. It's way over here, through this door, all the way in here, boom. I wait, and wait, and wait. Oh, why are you taking so long? Charge. There we go. Charge Certus quartz crystal. As we remember it, for whatever reason, the time it takes for these guys to charge seems to vary a little bit. So yeah, as you can see, not something that we want to continuously do manually, but thankfully it's actually pretty easy to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to automate the creation of charged Certus quartz crystals, and we're going to do one other thing that we can hopefully get to by the end of the episode. Not molecular assembler, my bad. Actually, I'm not sure which one I want to do first. As we go forward and our systems tend to get more and more complicated, we're going to want to be able to label our, where is it at? Here we go, matter condenser. We're going to be, excuse me. We're going to want to be able to label our cables with some sort of coloring so that we can make sure that they don't connect to each other when they're running very closely. Well, Applied Energistics gives you the ability to do that. But it's a little bit, it's not as straightforward as a lot of other mods when it comes to their like coloring aspects or the method in which you color things with. Where's it at? It's like a little paintbrush looking thing. I went ahead and tested all this stuff in my test world to make sure it would work. There we go. The color applicator, empty. It requires these guys, the paintballs, that require some matter balls to be made in order to actually create these guys. So yeah, you kind of load it up like a paintbrush, like a gun or something like that. Like you can load it up with ammo. As you can see, it can hold a bunch of different types of colors too. So you're not kind of restricted to one color. You can put a bunch of different ones in there and then kind of go from there. But in order to actually utilize this guy, we need to make some matter balls. And that is where the matter condenser comes into play. And of course, I wanted it to be kind of like the first or second thing that we automated. So what I'm going to do is kind of get ready to do that. And to get ready, I kind of want to build out a little bit of a room to put these guys in. Because these things are kind of going to be things that we kind of place and forget, like with most automated things. But I would like to have them kind of in a room where I can access them if need be. And I'm going to put a few things in this room. So I want it to be of decent size. Let's dig up and see where we're at. Almost perfect. So I think the first room is going to want to come out of this guy. These ME controllers I'm going to leave unused. I'm going to use them for other stuff. I'm going to use these three guys, send them off in this direction. So the first thing I want to do is actually step out here and grab ourselves some cable. Just to kind of line stuff up. Want to get a smart cable and some glass flukes cable. Nice. Ooh, actually, you know what? Do I want to run dense cable down here? Because I'm going to have a handful of machines down here, and I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to... Well, I guess if I need to add more machines past that 8 max for this cable, I can just add dense cable. I don't need to do it now, I guess. So let's run these guys this way. Oh, whoops. Actually, don't want to do that. And I've trapped myself in here. There. Nice. So this is roughly the center of the room? Okay. So I guess this is going to be the back, because I don't want to do too much terraforming as far as moving stuff around and having cables going around things and underneath things. And yeah, so I want to keep this hallway fairly simple. The next room is going to come out of here and go a little bit farther, and then the next room is going to come out of here and go even farther. You know what I mean? That way everything stays nice and organized, and we don't have to worry about where's going what and all that stuff. Kind of similar to how we did with the auto crafting. So let me do this. So that means that this room is going to be a little bit stubby, if you will, kind of short. But that's okay. All right, so this is going to be the wall with all the cables, which means this is going to be the wall. This is going to have all of our machines. So actually, you know what we can do? We can just go ahead and cover this up and do this. Perfect. Nice. So I'm kind of setting this stuff up before we actually get the machines and stuff in here and some of the other stuff that we need in order to make all this work properly. I just kind of want to have it set up and working. This cobblestone, of course, will change into something that's not cobblestone. But for now, it's just kind of there as a placeholder for the wall. So yeah, that's not too bad. That's a decent-sized room. So, The matter condenser can go over here. The energy acceptor can go over here. The matter condenser actually has a little bit to it, so I want to make sure I have a decent amount of room to work with, and I think I have enough. Cool. All right, so let's make some stuff. First things first. Let's go ahead and get this energy condenser, or this energy thing. Where's it at? Energy... I can't remember its actual, like, technical name. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on that one. So, applied energistics. Charger, duh. So let's make one more charger. I know I already have one, but I'm going to make another one. I want to leave that one over there with my manual machine, so, you know, if I need to charge something manually real quick, I can. I think that's a pretty good idea. So we have our charger, and we need one more thing. We need an interface, which I think I actually have some interfaces. I do. And lastly, we need something we have not seen yet, an import bus. Actually, no, we have seen import buses. I'll take that back. We have an import bus sitting over there with our chest, so let's make another import bus. And actually, I'm going to make an import bus over here. I was trying to think of stuff that I could add to the auto crafting system, and I was kind of drawing a blank. Honestly, the best way to... let me clear this out real quick. Like I was saying, the best way to discover stuff that you want to have auto-crafted is to just craft things, and things that you're like, oh man, I should make this. Yeah, there you go. An import bus is a very good example of something like that. Boom. So now we have an import bus that we can auto-craft, although it doesn't know how to auto-craft sticky pistons. Actually, I guess I could teach it how to create sticky pistons. That's not that bad. See what I mean? Trust me, we're gonna be doing this right here until like the last freaking episode, whenever that's gonna be. Because honestly, I have no idea. This modded Minecraft series could go on for an extremely long time, but we'll see how it goes. Don't worry, I'm not debating ending it anytime soon. But anyway, just saying. So now we know how to make sticky pistons. So good stuff. Especially since I was able to fix forestry. I was a little bit unsure about, with the big change to Botania and the forestry weirdness, if I was going to be able to actually continue with this world. But Botania updated with no issues, and forestry I was able to backdate some stuff with NEI to make forestry work, so no worries. We will continue on uninterrupted. So anyway, now that we can make this import bus, let's do it. I only need one for now. In the future, we're going to need a couple more, but... we're good for just the one. So we have our ME interface, which I'm actually going to... oh yeah, by the way, I know I didn't show this, but if you take a regular interface and you want to turn it into one of these guys, the ME import bus, where it's kind of like this. It's all in the same block, that micro block type cool stuff. You can turn your interface into a micro block interface by just putting it into your crafting table. Nice. And then vice versa. You can turn it back into a full-size block. Like that. So anyway, I want this guy to be a small interface because he needs to kind of fit into this spot. So interface right there. And, actually, almost forgot. I almost forgot a couple things. Something that's pretty important to note. Everybody else already knows, I just forgot. The charger does need to have some sort of external power source. So actually, let me change this up. We pick you up, put you on top. There we go. Nice. And everything's connected nicely whenever you see that light come on. Device missing channel. Device online. So, device online. Cool. So everyone's happy, except for the charger itself. Oh wait, no, you're getting power. What? How do you have power? In my test world, you didn't get power. In my test world, I needed to plug you in. Well, let's test it. Can I not? Oh, my bad. I thought I still had some sort of squirts on me. Haha. So I'm just testing to make sure this guy actually charges, and he didn't just charge off of something crazy. So we're just going to hang out for a second. Charged. Nice. Imported right into there. So are you going to recharge maybe? No. I could have sworn that there's a way to actually charge these guys. Like to give these guys power. Let me test something. I think. Now, I'm not 100% on this, so don't be too mad if I waste a little bit of time. Quartz fiber. I couldn't remember what it was called. So let's grab a piece of quartz fiber and some ME glass cable. I think if I grab a piece of quartz fiber and put it on here like this, and then do one of these, will you charge? Yes, it works. Nice. I knew it. Okay, so if you're curious what happened there, IMI glass cables can actually, they can transfer power as well to other AE system stuff, like to other applied energistics machines. They can transfer power to them. However, if you're moving a glass cable, a glass Fluix cable from this guy, why am I like we being weird? Okay. When you're moving a Fluix cable like this from the IMI controller, it's transferring data. That is its primary function right now, is it's transferring data. However, it is still moving electricity along with it. Like, it's still moving power with it. So if you take this quartz fiber, which does not transfer data, it only transfers power, and put it right here, and then connect this glass cable, it'll transfer the power along this quartz fiber just like that. That way you don't have to worry about plugging anything in or anything like that. You can use this method. It works great. Look at that. Nice and powered. And we'll actually use this method a lot going forward. It's really, really useful for peer-to-peer tunnels, which I haven't really done too much. Well, actually, we haven't done anything at all with peer-to-peer tunnels. Just know that if you decide to dive into that before I do, that is how you can power your connections, is using these quartz fiber cables. That's awesome. This is not what I meant to grab. Whoops. I meant to grab, I was talking about it and I grabbed it. I meant to grab another one of these to make sure that, that everything works. So I'm going to grab this, do this one more time, and then I'll show you how we can automate this. So, yep, nice. Charges right back up. Hell yeah. Whew, that's awesome. Okay, so how are we going to actually automate this functionality? Because it's not like a regular crafting recipe, you know? I always forget to eat now because my hunger still goes up. Or not my hunger, my health goes up because of the terror still set, even though I don't have full health or full hunger. So I'll just let my hunger go all the way down to low and then start dying. I'm like, oh no, what's happening? But anyway, so how do we actually get this to work? How do we make these guys auto-craft? Well, I will show you. We go over here to our pattern terminal, right? We have our awesome blank pattern sitting here. Yeah. So right here, you see right here where it says crafting pattern, a little crafting button, if you will. If you click it, whoa, it changes to processing pattern. This is going to allow you to do, you're going to be able to create, if you will, crafting recipes for applied energistics. Now, obviously, this isn't how it actually works. Like, you couldn't, well, here, let me just show you. Basically, we're telling it, if you take a Certus quartz crystal and you put it into this machine, you're going to get a charged Certus quartz crystal. Well, so if we go ahead and encode the pattern, it says it creates one charged Certus quartz crystal using one Certus quartz crystal. So how does this work? Well, it works very similarly to how these interfaces work with the molecular assembler. If we take this encoded pattern, come over here to our interface, and place it in here like this. Nice. Now we should be able to access this guy, and it's going to give us what we need. Let's run over here and look up charge Certus quartz. Let's take these guys out so we can see the crafting recipe. Nice. Look at that. See craft. We click it, and let's make 10. Available 10, good. Start. Let's run down here. Whoa, it's working. There goes one. And wait a little bit for it to charge up. Again, it's kind of wonky with how quickly it likes to charge things sometimes. Charges up. Nice. So this import bus, just like with the chest, is of course going to allow it to suck everything up. Oh yeah, that's right. It's up here. So yeah, the import bus is just going to suck everything up that it can whenever there's stuff in here in this inventory. Now, because this is an applied energistics machine, the import bus is smart. It knows. Well, apparently I'm not smart, but the import bus is smart. Like, it knows not to. It knows, or I'm sorry, actually, the interface is what's making it smart. The interface lets it know that it only wants to charge Certus quartz crystal. So while this import bus is trying to pull out everything it can, it won't pull out the regular Certus quartz crystal until it becomes charged, because that's the way the recipe works. So there you go. That's like the first easy thing that you can automate. The first and easiest machine to automate with applied energistics is the charger. All you need is an interface, an import bus, the charger itself, and one single piece of quartz fiber. And of course, a lot of glass cable, depending on where you put it. But there you go. That's all you got to do. Of course, you also need to have a working auto crafting system. It does not work without the crafting storage and the coal processing units. So even though the machine itself is what's doing all the work and what is holding the like crafting recipes and all that stuff, you still need the crafting storage. You still need the brain, the CPU, to actually do the function, if that makes sense. So just keep that in mind whenever you're working with it. Even though it looks like it's all encompassed into this one machine, it'll all work by itself. It won't work without a CPU. So actually, I think we can demonstrate that by asking for a few more. So remember, middle click if you already have a few. Now we should be able to look into one of these guys. Yep, see? It's doing it. Like I said, you need to have a brain to make sure that this thing is functioning properly. Even though the machine is what's doing the work, the machine doesn't have a brain. This guy does. So there we go. Working as intended. So give me a moment. I'll come back. I'm going to check our time and see if we have enough time to get started with this molecular assembler. All right, so I am back, and I didn't mean to say molecular assembler. I meant to say matter condenser. So let me look it up real quick. We don't actually have enough time to get started with it today, so we will definitely be working on that next episode. But look forward to that. The matter condenser is really cool. There's actually a couple different things that you can do with the matter condenser, not just making paintballs. If you like the matter cannon, this is how you get ammo for the matter cannon as well. If you have yourself a matter condenser, well, I should say, if you would like to use the matter cannon and you're not sure how to get weapons or not sure how to get ammo, you utilize the matter condenser. So be sure to come back next episode. I'm going to show you how to use the matter condenser, how to create the matter balls that you can use in the matter cannon, and of course in the color applicator. So thanks for watching, guys. I have been Lanolin. I hope you enjoyed automating the charger. Nice and simple, nice and straightforward, nothing too difficult. Plus, it's extremely useful because, man, we use a lot of those charged crystals. So thanks for watching, guys. I have been Lanolin, and I will see you next time. Bye.